Good morning, everyone. Chào quý vị. Last weekend, last Saturday, there's a Chinese gentleman who came for meditation, I believe, for the first time. Trước có một cái người Hoa tới thiền, như tới chùa thiền, tập thiền như lần đầu tiên thì phải. And after lunch, he left and he saw me in the court on the courtyard. And he asked, does meditation help heal lungs problems? Thì sau khi dùng trưa rồi á, thì ông ra đường đi ra gặp thầy. Mới hỏi thầy là cái thiền nó có chữa cho cái bệnh phổi không? I said, of course it does. Actually, it's one of the great things about meditation, about Chan, is that it will heal your lung problems. It's a known thing. It's been proven thing. Thì nói là thiệt ra cái lịch sử của thiền á, trong cái pháp môn thiền á, có nhiều người ta đã nhờ thiền mà chữa cái bệnh phổi, nhiều người lắm. Can we pipe this over to the kitchen staff? I'm speaking Vietnamese on purpose so that they can hear it because they might be busy. I told them to come and listen, but I think they're not here, so it seems that they're busy. So I explained that the fact is that Chan has healed a lot of people with their pulmonary problems. And so I said, you should come, if you come learn, come meditate regularly, you see the difference. And this week it disappears. And that's the nature of illness. The doctor gives you medicine and you refuse to take it. Thầy khuyên ông là tới chùa thiền đều đi, thì tự động sẽ có sự tiến bộ trong cái bệnh phổi đó. Tuần này cũng biến mất. Cho quý vị thấy cái bệnh nó dễ sợ lắm. Khi mà gặp bác sĩ mà cho thuốc rồi á, từ bệnh nó khiến quý vị không uống thuốc, không chịu uống thuốc luôn, dễ sợ lắm. I'm not saying this in a casual fashion. I tell you, I've seen it too often. Cái chuyện người ta thấy rất là thông thường. You refuse to take the medication. Thì người ta không chịu uống thuốc, chứ không phải thuốc chữa không được. What is illness? Illness is the presence of beings that are not, they want to do you harm inside of you. Bệnh là cái gì? Bệnh là có cái sự hiện diện của những cái cõi, tạm gọi là cõi âm đi. Nó có trong cái cơ thể quý vị với mục tiêu là hại sức khỏe quý vị. They want to harm you. Okay? These are beings just like us. Đây là những chúng sanh giống như chúng ta vậy đó. And therefore they affect us in a very intimate fashion. Thành ra những cái chúng sanh này nó ảnh hưởng với chúng ta rất là lớn lao, rất là mật thiết. Okay? So they can, for example, influence you by not doing exercises, by not taking medication. Họ ảnh hưởng những vị bằng chúng ta bằng cách nào? Gắt khuyên quý vị muốn tập thể thao, cũng như sinh cái tính lười lên. Quý vị muốn uống thuốc, không tin ông thầy chữa thuốc được. Just like everything else, there's many ways to skin the cat. So in order for these beings to exist inside of you, thành những cái chúng sanh nó muốn hiện diện trong quý vị, they have to find ways to survive, okay, to proliferate inside your body. That's how you die quicker and they grow stronger. Tại cái mục tiêu họ là gì? Họ càng ngày họ càng đông đúc, họ càng phát triển để càng ngày phe họ mạnh, phe quý vị yếu. Okay? So, how do you deal with that? Làm sao mà đối phó bây giờ? Very simple. Get rid of them. Không đối phó dễ, đuổi nó đi. You have to realize that illness are unwelcome presences inside of you. Vì phải nhớ rằng cái bệnh hoạn chỉ là những cái chúng sanh mà nó muốn hại quý vị, nó có mặt, nó có hiện diện trong cơ thể quý vị. So you have to get rid of them. You have to discourage them from staying. Nên quý vị phải đuổi họ đi, quý vị phải khuyến khích họ không nên ở lại. Okay? So far so good? Does it make sense? They start out as commandos, like the Navy SEAL 6 we sent to on a special operation. They come in, and they find a way to sneak around, they find a way to destroy the enemy, and then they leave. Okay? Except for these illness, they come in, they take root, and they multiply, and they take over parts of your body and mind. Thành cái bệnh là nó đầu nó len lỏi vào quý vị, xong rồi nó phá cơ thể quý vị. Khác biệt cái tụi này là tụi nó phá quý vị và nó đóng cột lại và nó phát triển để nó càng ngày nó càng mạnh, nó càng xâm chiếm những cái cơ quan của trong cơ thể của quý vị để nó giết quý vị. Okay, so today I will show you, and in general, Chan is is a practice that will help you restore your health. Cái thiền là một cái phương pháp tu luyện để khiến quý vị hồi phục lại cái sức khỏe. Okay, it's one of the most advanced form of self-healing process. Thiền là một cái phương pháp mà từ chữa bệnh hữu hiệu nhất mà thầy biết được. Okay. I talked to a Taoist practitioner who's into healing. Thầy nói chuyện một cái vị đạo giáo mà chuyên đi chữa bệnh. And he says, he explains to me what he does, and I say, yes, what you're doing is right. However, you are not doing it, applying. You're falling short of the purpose of your methodology. Thì ông kể cho thầy biết cái phương pháp mà ông chữa bệnh người ta, ông dạy người ta tự chữa bệnh. Thì thầy nói phương pháp đó đúng, phương pháp đó rất là đúng. Đều á, cái cách mà cái pháp bên họ truyền từ đời này qua đời khác á, họ chưa biết áp dụng tới nơi tới chốn. Không phải là cái pháp nó không hay, mà tại cái người hiểu cái pháp, người lĩnh hội cái pháp á, nó chưa lĩnh hội tới nơi tới chốn. So I explained to him that his healing dharma is very, very effective. Very, very effective. However, the way it's transmitted from teacher to teacher is improper. It's because the teachers who taught him haven't understood, haven't penetrated, haven't accomplished that dharma yet, that process of healing yet. So that's why they fall short of healing people. So I explained him from now on he should adjust his methodology accordingly so that he can improve. And he agreed wholeheartedly. He agreed that he and his teachers didn't quite grasp the purpose, the process of behind that methodology. So you see, the reason I could understand is because it's fall within the realm of Chan. That's what we do as well, in a much more advanced way. Làm sao thầy biết, thầy nhận thức được những cái chuyện đó? Tại vì thầy thấy được cái cách họ làm đó nó nổi trong phạm vi của cái thiền tông mình tu luyện. Thiền tông mình nó rộng hơn nhiều, nó rộng không có thể tưởng tượng được. Thành ra ông thầy thuốc đó, ông nói với thầy, đúng rồi, té ra khi mà ông học cái pháp đó rồi ông qua học cái pháp thiền ngài tiến hóa, thiền ngài tiến hóa là ngài vô lượng vô biên. And then that Taoist doctor, and then after he talked to me, he suddenly realized that, now I remember that you reminded me on how I learned about Master Shenhua's, your teachers, Dharma. a teacher's child. Well, your teacher's child is countless, is boundless. Okay. Nói là cái vô lượng vô biên của cái pháp thiền của Ngài Tiến Hóa dạy. Thì nói đúng, exactly, because the child is really boundless and very immeasurable, is boundless. And that is why your healing dharma is contained within that as well. So it's a subset, a tiny process within that. Thế mới dạng cho biết đúng. Tại vì cái pháp môn thiền của mình là vô lượng vô biên, thành ra cái phương pháp mà chữa bệnh của họ chỉ nằm trong cái phạm vi, vẫn còn trong phạm vi của cái thiền tông. Thành ra thì nghe thì hiểu ngay lập tức là cái tại sao cái công dụng của cái cách luyện đó. So today I will explain to you about that healing process. Ngày hôm nay thì giảng quý vị biết về cái cách chữa bệnh đó. Remember, all of you, unlike us, lay people, all of you go to work and you trade earning money for making your body sick. Okay, in some ways. Cái người thường phàm phu đó, cái vị đi làm việc đó, là làm ra tiền thì đổi chác cái tiền đó với cái sức khỏe của quý vị. I talked to someone this week, and he said that he has a relative who's very, very rich in his 40s. Thì nói chuyện một cái người kia nói là có một cái bà con mới 40 mấy tuổi mà giàu dễ sợ. He's very, very rich. And yet he's so sick. Như cái khổ là bệnh hoạn dễ sợ lắm. And then he says, you know, I made a lot of money, but I realized that sick man, he says, his sick young man says, I made a lot of money, but I would trade all of that for good health. Rồi cái ông nhà giàu đó mới nói, ông mới bỏ nhỏ cái ông đó nói là người bạn nói là tất cả cái tiền tôi làm đây đó nó không xứng đáng bằng cái sức khỏe. Tôi chẳng thà tôi cúng mấy cái tiền này, vất mấy cái tiền này để mua lại sức khỏe của tôi mà tôi làm được, but yet I can't. Okay, so I feel that you should meditate every day so that you maintain your good health. Thành thầy khuyên quý vị mỗi ngày nên thiền để mà duy trì cái sức khỏe của mình. Okay, especially at the end of the week or the beginning of the week, you should probably consider doing this process of meditation to help your body heal. Nhất là đầu tuần hoặc là cuối tuần, quý vị nên thiền theo phương pháp mà chữa bệnh này. Vậy ngày hôm nay sẽ thể dạy để giúp duy trì sức khỏe của mình. Okay? All right. The process is fairly simple. Cái phương pháp này dùng công rất là dễ dàng. Okay? So far, when I teach meditation, I ignored. I tend to gloss. I tend to neglect the breathing. Thì trước giờ thầy dạy thiền, thầy làm lơ, thầy cũng dạy về hơi thở, because I feel that people are too obsessed about breathing. Tại vì thầy thấy cái người mà ta luyện thiền mà cách hơi thở, ta hơi chú tâm quá sức, quá lố về cái hơi thở. And that's a form of attachment. Đó là một cái loài chấp trước. And I don't want my meditation students to develop. Mà thầy không muốn học trò của thầy nó vào cái cảnh giới đó. But now I want you to now you learn about our meditation methodology, which is don't worry about your breathing, and you understand that you practice it. It's okay to practice the breathing method I'm about to teach you. Bây giờ ngày hôm nay thầy dạy về cái vị phương pháp hơi thở, tại vì nó có dùng của nó để mà thành cái vị một khi hiểu mà không nên quá chấp trước về hơi thở rồi thì tập cái phương pháp hơi thở này không sao. Okay? So what you do? You breathe in. Quý vị thở vào. You pay attention, you breathe your breath as it comes in and goes down to your navel. là quý vị bắt đầu chú ý hơi thở. Thở nó thở xuống, theo hơi thở chạy xuống tới cái đan điền. So you see the air coming in through your nostrils, going down your throat, okay, through your lungs. Okay, that's why I said earlier, when you have lung problems, it's going to help heal your lungs a lot quicker than you think. And go down to your tummy, okay? Thành quý vị phải quán theo hơi thở nó vào cái lỗ mũi của mình, nó xuống cái cổ của mình, đi ngang cái ngực của mình, ngang phổi của mình, xong xuống cái bào tử của mình. So far so good. You go all the way down to your navel. Okay, that's what your breath is supposed to do. So for example, when you're nervous, your breath stops around your lungs level. Ví dụ như khi quý vị mà bị căng thẳng tinh thần đó, thì cái hơi thở quý vị tự động nó ngừng lại đến cái phổi quý vị. Notice that. Next time you're nervous, you tense. That's where you stop. Your breathing is shallower. It stops around your lungs area. Okay? And that's the problem with tension, or the problem tension causes your breathing to become shallow. Nên mỗi lần sau mà quý vị mà khi bị tinh thần căng thẳng, chú ý tới cho coi là cái hơi thở mà nó ngừng lại cái phổi á. Đó là cái tác dụng của cái sự căng thẳng tinh thần. For example, children, they don't have that problem. They breathe naturally, uninhibitedly. Okay, so you going back to the process, you breathe all the way down to your navel. Okay, rồi quý vị thiền, quý vị quán hơi thở chạy thở xuống tới cái đan điền. Okay, and then what? You have to exhale. When you exhale, you contemplate the illness that you have is being expelled through your breathing. Lúc quý vị thở ra như vậy thì quý vị quán là những cái bệnh hoạn quý vị đó nó đang từ hơi thở nó chạy ra ngoài. So you are in the process of expelling the illness through your breathing. So far so good. Okay. Cái gì quán là mình đang thở thì những cái bệnh hoạn, cái độc tố trong người, these toxins inside your body are being expelled through your breathing. That happens naturally whether you contemplate or not, but this is more active. So you can so when you do chant, your breathing naturally does that process, the cleansing process. Okay? But this is more proactive. Actually, you're contemplating the toxins being expelled. Okay? Any questions so far? Yes? You can breathe out through your mouth, breathe out through your nose, doesn't matter. Okay? Doesn't matter at all. Yes? You can if you like. Actually, when you do that, you're helping these beings. You're helping these beings feel better. Yes, they don't like being expelled. They are being expelled. So Amitabha Buddha is escorting them out. Okay? Any other questions? Okay? So, as you do that, your false thought will arise. Okay? You begin to have thoughts that arise in your mind. That's called an affliction. Khi quý vị làm như vậy mà cái tư tưởng nó khởi lên, cái đó gọi là phiền não. Okay? They distract you from the focus on your contemplative process. You're supposed to contemplate expelling the toxins, right? But the thoughts arise to distract you from doing that. That's called interference. That's called affliction in chant. Okay? Easy. Either you ignore it or you look at it and say, you should go out as well. Is it clear? Thành ra khi quý vị đang làm như vậy, cái vọng tưởng nó khởi lên, cái vọng tưởng đó, cái thiền tông gọi là phiền não. nó tới để nó cản trở quý vị, nó chi phối cái tinh thần quý vị để quý vị quên cái chuyện quán, cái độc tố nó bị đẩy ra. Okay. Cái đó là cái loại phiền não. Okay. Đó là một cái loại bệnh luôn nữa. Thành quý vị quán đẩy nó ra luôn nữa. So you look at the affliction, okay? The false thought is called an affliction and expel it as well. So far so good. What is the process? What is your purpose? Làm gì để làm cái gì? In order for your mind to become blank. There's no other thoughts. Là như vậy. Cái mục tiêu á, là để cho cái tâm quý vị nó thành trống, nó không có một cái tư tưởng nào khác. Your mind becomes empty. Cái tâm quý vị nó trở thành không. Your mind is emptied out. Any questions? It's very clear. You keep on breathing. You keep on concentrating on the breath or Amitabha Buddha's name as you exhale. Okay? If you concentrate single-mindedly, your mind will become blank naturally. You don't have to do anything. Quý vị chỉ cần chú tâm như vậy thôi. Chú tâm quán cái hơi thở, độc tố nó bị đẩy ra. Thì nên cái niệm Phật cũng như vậy. Niệm Phật dẫn cái độc tố nó ra ngoài. Okay? Thì quý vị chỉ nhất tâm làm như vậy thôi. Không cần suy nghĩ gì khác. Don't think about anything else. That's when your mind becomes empty. Thì tâm lúc đó nó trở thành trống. Questions? That's all you do. That's how you enter samadhi. Đó là cách quý vị nhập định. So for example, you sit there, you have leg pains. Okay? You're uncomfortable. Okay? Don't move. Don't shift. You contemplate, you are my affliction. Okay? You are my pain. I will not move. Contemplate, it's being expelled. Because it's disrupting you out with your breathing. You see that? Don't move. You move like this, you're being afflicted. You move like this, you're afflicted. You don't move. You simply concentrate. You resist the urge to move and say, you are my affliction. Get out. See that? That's how you empty yourself. Chẳng như ngồi mà thấy cái người nó mỏi, nó khó chịu, nó đau, thì quý vị nhận nó lập tức nhận nó là cái phiền não của mình, đuổi nó ra ngay lập tức, đi ra, không có nhúc nhích, đuổi nó ra. Ok? Cái tâm mình trống là tại vì mình chỉ nhất tâm mình làm một chuyện, bất cứ chuyện nó khởi lên, mình thấy nó, quăng nó ra ngay lập tức. Mình chỉ làm một chuyện đó thôi, tự động cái tâm mình nó trống, chứ đừng có đòi tâm trống. When I talked about your mind become empty, I don't want you to say, mind become empty. Why not? Thì quý vị thầy dạy cái phương pháp này để cho quý vị trống cái tâm, thì thầy không muốn quý vị ngồi đó mà nói cái tâm phải trống. Tại sao như vậy? Because that's an affliction too. For you wanting your mind to become empty is an affliction itself. Tại cái tâm, cái gì mà đòi cái tâm mình trống là một cái phiền não nữa, không được như vậy. In order to become empty, you only concentrate on doing that. That's all. Keep throwing everything out that comes in your mind. Okay? Questions? Yes, sir.
I sometimes find myself adjusting posture because I think my back's not straight enough.
Right.
But should I be doing that or sort of try and set the posture right?
You keep your small back straight. The small back straight here. Don't lean back. Don't sit back like that. Okay? When you sit, whether during meditation or in normal time or outside meditation, don't shift. Okay? Keep your small back straight. That's all you do. And naturally, everything, the posture will take care of itself. Naturally. That's the most important thing is down underneath, the lower part, the small back. Keep it straight. And the rest will straighten.
Should you sort of try and correct it while you're meditating? Or,
You could, but it's not necessary. I prefer for you not to correct it because you tend to overcorrect, you tend to tense yourself up like this. Whereas if you correct it gently, okay, and avoid tension, because that naturally takes care of itself. Okay, the more you concentrate, naturally your back becomes straight. There's no need to worry about it. Just worry about concentrating on the task at hand, and the body will take care of itself. Okay? Any other questions? Yes.
When you breathe during that breathing exercise, I think doesn't it happen at some point that maybe you don't feel like you're breathing anymore?
That's very good. Then your mind becomes empty. That's good. So that's a good leading question. I should bring you to my lectures more often. The reason that you want to empty your mind is that when you empty your mind, you don't see yourself breathing anymore. There's no more breathing. Khi mà quý vị nhập được vào cái tâm nó trống, là quý vị gọi là nhập định đó, thì tự động lúc đó quý vị không còn thấy mình thở nữa. You go into different breathing mode. Quý vị vào một cái thế thở khác. It's no longer like this. Yes. Yes. Very good. That's good. But don't. Yeah, you won't hear a thing. Okay? Any other questions? So when you single-mindedly concentrate on the breathing process, chỉ cần chú tâm vào cái hơi thở thôi, okay? And throw out everything that crosses your mind, everything. I mean exactly everything. Trong lúc mà quý vị chú ý hơi thở đó như vậy, bất cứ cái tư tưởng nó khởi lên là vứt nó ra. You throw out everything that arises. Keep on throwing it out. That's all you sit there and you do. Throw it out. Throw it out. That's what you do. Don't say, why does it take so long? Đừng có ngồi đó mà tại sao ngồi lâu ạ? I've been doing this for so long, I don't see anything. Throw that out too. Okay? Đừng ngồi đó mà nói là tôi theo phương pháp ông thầy nói làm hoài mà không thấy gì hết. Cái tư tưởng nó cũng vứt nó ra luôn nữa. Anything and everything. Is it clear? Including pains in your legs. Throw it out. Okay? Because they're disrupting you. Of course you're supposed to have pain. Okay? And you bear it long enough, it goes away by itself. Okay? So far so good? Tất cả tư tưởng phải vứt nó ra hết. Tư tưởng nó là cái chân mình nó đau, cái lưng mình nó đau, vứt nó ra luôn. Tư tưởng nó phải vứt nó ra luôn. Okay? And then you enter samadhi. Khi mà cái tâm quý vị trống á, cái đó gọi là nhập định. See, I describe the process very precisely. Most people don't realize that these processes. These processing are clearly understood in the chan in chan. Những cái này nó không ngoài trong cái phạm vi của cái luyện thiền hết, thành không có gì lạ đối với chúng tôi hết. So you empty yourself, then you go into different breathing mode. Lúc đó quý vị nhập định thì cách thở quý vị nó khác. Quý vị ngừng thở theo cái phổi. You start breathing through your lungs. It's a much more refined form breathing. Lúc đó thì lúc đó cái cơ thể quý vị nó thở một cách mà mịn, một cách nó sâu hơn. Okay? And that's where you're at your best. Lúc đó là quý vị chữa bệnh mạnh nhất. This is when you are at your best at expelling toxins without thinking about it. Lúc đó quý vị đang đuổi độc tố ra mà không cần suy nghĩ. You see that? Ultimately, that's what happens in chan. When you enter samadhi. Thành ra cái lúc mà quý vị thiền mà nhập định đó chuyện nó xảy ra. cái độc tố mà nó bị đẩy ra. Actually, is that more going on? I'm willing to tell you. Nó còn nhiều chuyện xảy ra mà thầy cũng muốn nói cái gì. Because it makes you greedy. That's all it does. A lot of times, I don't tell you a lot of things because it makes you greedy. Okay? Thầy nói có nhiều chuyện thầy cũng nói cái vị cố ý không nói. Ta nói cho làm cái vị tham lam thôi. Chant is supposed to make you less greedy. Luyện thiền phải khiến quý vị bớt tham. Okay? Chứ không phải làm cái vị tham hơn. My chant makes you less greedy, makes you more lofty. Cái thiền mà thầy dạy cái vị bớt cái vị là khiến quý vị thành con người bớt tham lam, còn con người cao cả hơn. That's our chant. The chant you're practicing. Okay? Cái thiền mình tu là như vậy đó. Any questions about this? Ai thắc mắc gì không? Okay. Now, the young novices, you should pay attention to this because in the future, I will ask you to transmit this self-healing dharma to people. When, for example, when we do a Buddha recitation for a week, in a couple of weeks, I believe. Yeah, in 2 weeks. We'll teach that form of recitation by healing as well. Okay, and when we do the chanchi after that, I want them to transmit that process as well, because it doesn't hurt for you to do, because you, most of you are, all of you are attached to marks, as we call it in Chan school. So that's why every now and then we teach you these special practice methods to help you see the results of the practice itself. Okay, in order for you to, as provide encouragement for you to see that it really is very helpful to do Chan. But ultimately, the Chan meditation we teach you is so much more advanced, so much more powerful. Okay. All right, so let me close by telling you this, okay? Remember, we started the process of using the breathing, okay, to expel toxins. That's how you heal yourself, okay? What does it mean? It means that you are attacking the invaders in your body. You are diminishing their ranks. Okay? You're actually attacking them by throwing them out of your body through your breathing. Is it clear? Okay? You diminishing the numbers. So when you do that, the weaker ones will go out first. All right? And then now you have the tougher ones, the drill sergeants, the captains, the majors, the colonels, the generals. That takes more work. Okay? But every time you breathe like this, you expel it. Okay? You throw them out. You expel them. So far, so good. Okay? And so you keep on doing that. It really works because you are attacking them. Okay? So naturally, false thoughts will arise and distract you from the process. So remember, if all the thoughts be other than breathing and throw them out arise, you throw them out as well. Okay? Oops, I need to cook lunch. Throw it out. Okay? Oops, I need a thought about work arises. Throw it out. It's a distraction. Okay? So far, so good. You keep on throwing it out through your breathing until no more thoughts arise. You do it well enough, long enough, naturally, you would become single-minded. Exhale, exhale, exhale and go out. That's all you do. You become single-minded, then you enter samadhi. When you enter samadhi, you still are doing the breathing, but a different way, much more effective form of breathing, which expels even more. That's when you attack the captains and the majors, the colonels and the generals. That's when you attack them during your samadhi. Is it clear? This is why we need to do, this is why the process is very advanced. Okay. There suffer the biggest losses when you enter samadhi. Okay? Any questions? So it depends on your level of skills. You know. If you're low level, you're beginning to learn Chan, then your skills is about getting rid of the soldiers. That's all you can. That's all you're capable of doing. That's why you need to practicing, okay? Every time you come to the temple, you're receiving help from others who are, you're entering a force field where the environment is more conducive for you to become single-minded, and you're receiving help from others who are better than you at meditation. This is why you want to come to the temple, okay? To a place where all people are better than you and meditate with them. So far, so good? Okay? So, if you become more advanced, you enter samadhi, okay? You are able to enter samadhi, okay? You are expelling a lot more of the invading armies, okay? And that's why the purpose of Chan is to help you increase your samadhi power. So that you expel more and more of these beings that want you harm. Questions? If you have no more questions, then we can go to lunch. Quý vị có hỏi thắc mắc nữa thì mình có quyền đi ăn trưa. Yes.
Does it matter if you sort of let the mantra go? Because sometimes I can it just sort of fades into the background.
What mantra?
Well, the one I use, I was taught, I learned sort of TM meditation and they go the mantra there, so I often use that one, although it seems to be the same if I use the Guanyin Usa. It doesn't seem to be
It's the same thing.
change
Yeah.
yet, you know.
Yes.
It sort of doesn't seem to matter to me what mantra it is.
Yeah. Just be careful about which mantras you use. The mantras are okay. In particular, you remind me of one thing I wanted to say, and I almost forgot. Especially when you look at the process carefully I described to you today. It is especially effective at dealing with mental illness. Especially when you are depressed or such symptoms, okay? You sit there, instead of getting depressed, feeling bad about yourself, you concentrate on your breathing and say, get out. That's the most effective form of dealing with mental disorders that the medical profession don't know how to do. Okay? Get out. Is it clear? Because you can't get help from chemicals. You can't. You heard recently in the news that there is a global concerned now that the people are so becoming, the viruses, the germs are becoming drug resistant, right? It's a serious problem now, serious health problems now, when they're not developing the new medicine fast enough to deal with the drug resistance from these germs. Okay. Just the same thing. If you deal with the mental illness and you keep on taking drugs, it doesn't work anymore. And this will work. You throw them out. You develop the skills to throw them out stronger. You see, you throw more of them out with your mental strength, with your samadhi power, not with drugs. Okay? Yes, sir. You had a question.
Just record it, talk right now, like listen to it later?
Yes. Yes. And see, give me just to close out. You know that Chinese gentleman last week. Had he come back today, I would have told him your lung problems. Same thing. You sit, you meditate. Okay. You concentrate, breathing in to your navel. Okay? And as you exhale, you contemplate your lung germs being expelled. So now you are specifically addressing problems. We have so many illnesses. This will cleanse them out, all the toxins. But now you can do selective targeting, can't you? See, lung issues, get out. That's all you do, get out. And get out. Okay? And then when you become empty, okay, you keep on concentrating, you become single-minded, that makes it even easier for you to enter samadhi. Okay? So the process of breathing here, remember, this is the major trunk of your system. This is all your, they call it the switchboard, where all the wiring goes through this junk here, this trunk here. So you're cleansing this area out right here. Is your core. So anything along this path, you can clear now very easily because they're so close. You see that? So you're taking care of your core right here. When you go to the gym, they say, take care of your core. They only think about here. Actually, your core is this whole chunk here in your breathing process. Okay? Questions? Yes?
So when you expel these things out of your body, and they do retaliate, and then that's where you get obstructed thoughts, but also your condition could get, worse temporarily, or is it?
It could. Or it could get better very quickly too. It depends. The reason it gets worse is because you get reinforcement. Because if you can expel them and say, oh my God, she's doing it to me, let's call mom. And then mom comes and say, Mama is going to show her, we're going to teach her a lesson. That's why it gets worse. You see that? They got help. You can do the same thing. You got to help yourself. So it's escalation. If they get help, you get help too. Okay? Or you ignore it. You patiently endure it until you become stronger. Now you also throw out the mamas. You like that, huh? Mamacitas. Okay? Any other questions? So going back to your question, the mantras, yeah, the mantras are okay. You can use the mantras. But I can offer you my bias. You use Buddhist mantras, they're safer and they're better. Yeah. Just be careful. I'm cautious about mantras who are non-Buddhist because I don't know what they are. And you don't know what kind of long-term benefits they're going to have. I don't know. Okay. For example, I teach you, you see, for example, for today I taught you about self-healing, the process self-healing right there. You see that most of the healers, they go through that process. They go through the similar process in their training. They don't go as far as the way we approach it. Chan is much further along because Chan is boundless, is immeasurable. Okay? That's the range of Chan. The healing of Chan is immeasurable, is boundless. So you have quite the range to go. Is it clear? Any other questions? Okay, then we can go to lunch. Thank you. So again, I would do it, once a week, maybe twice a week, beginning of the week, end of the week. Okay, beginning of the week to build your stamina. At the end of the week to restore your strength. Okay. All right. And if you have certain illnesses, I would do more targeting. I would target on the. Yes.
And then between those beginning of the week and at the end of the week, do you just do the regular meditation?
Do whatever you like.